So, Mario Draghi, Jim, told us he was going to do whatever it takes, and apparently we have no idea what that is because today, Thursday, he kind of did a nothing done. He's like, well, we might do this and we may do that.
It's a funny thing about the stock market. You could really be 0 for 2. You could argue 0 for 2. The Fed did nothing. Draghi's doing nothing. But we're past these events. So as we get past events, people then go back to what's doing well. You notice Macy's goes down, doesn't do well. And then boom, it goes like Gap stores.
Wow.
I have been a big believer that domestic companies that don't have the morass of Draghi turn, and they turn very quickly. And that we can let Europe control our thinking, or we can try to make money. It is very clear to me that they have very little going on in Europe to fix their problems, to actually permanently fix their problems. And in the meantime, AT&T keeps moving along. Comcast, parent company I work for, that was a remarkable quarter. I'm going to say it here. We tried to, I wasn't sure whether to address it or not because it's always tricky. Because you say, hey Jim, you work for Comcast, but if you
got a little bit of a conflict of interest there, perhaps.
True. But I mention it only because I could talk about Time Warner too. It's domestic companies, and domestic companies, their businesses aren't reacting. Now there are companies that say, Weight Watchers had the macro issue. Abercrombie, they have 20% of the business in Europe, but. I think that the solution to trying to figure out what happens to Europe is don't try to figure it out.
Because now you have no credibility in Mario Draghi. We felt like we did, and now we don't, so we can't trust what he says. You worry about what he says because now he's manipulating the market in a sense that he says something, the market reacts.
Right.
He's got to learn that he can't say these statements because the markets are going to jump on what he says.
Exactly, and that's really
He needs to go to Ben Bernanke lesson of school of what to say.
I think he does, but Bernanke's one country. There's multiple countries, and I don't want my portfolio to be hostage to what Angela Merkel wants to do. I want my portfolio to be reacting to what great CEOs are doing with terrific balance sheets, and that makes it so that Draghi is a sideshow, even as people think he's front and center. It hasn't worked that way. The market's up almost 10%.
All right, so your portfolio is Team USA.
Yes. This market is
stock pickers market.
Stocks have rallied this year.
We're coming into a Monday where we're getting